Cristiano Ronaldo once got brutally taken down right on the field, and this other player, he almost died after that foul. These are the most dangerous fouls in football. Let's start with the World Cup, because what happened in 2010 shocked the entire world. The final was actually one of the most violent in history, with over 47 fouls. But the most brutal moment? The Young's karate kick straight at Xabi Alonso's chest. And the craziest part? He only got a yellow card. Now, let's rewind to the end of 2006. Zidane was so lucky. That match ended up defining his career. Not because of a title or even that gorgeous chip shot he scored, but because of that moment with Materazzi. Zidane got a red card, and many believe that's exactly what cost France the championship. Oh, and by the way, that was the final game of his career. He retired right after that match. We'll get back to Materazzi later, but first, let's talk about the time Thomas Müller almost ended someone's life on the pitch. It was Ajax versus Bayern Munich, and things were already tense. One Ajax player had just been sent off for a reckless tackle, but then Müller took things way too far. Just look at what he did in that clash with Tagliafico. Depending on how the hit landed, the guy might not have made it out okay. Mbappe nearly ruined someone's career too. This nasty tackle straight to the shin could have shattered bones. But even that wasn't as terrifying as what happened to Leon Goretzka. The game was between Germany and Liechtenstein, and just 7 minutes in, this happened. Well, maybe that gave Germany the fire to answer back in the best way, with goals. They finished the match with a historic 9-0 win. Now that's how you respond to violence, by putting the ball in the net. This tackle got Totti suspended for 4 games. And it wasn't just any match, it was the Coppa Italia final. Things were already getting heated when just moments after a rough challenge, Totti completely lost focus on the ball and went straight for Balotelli's knee. That hit could have easily shattered the guy's leg.
Bruttissimo fallo da parte di Totti. Inconcepibile. Guardate cosa fa da dietro. Inconcepibile.
I'm not sure if there was any beef between Totti and Balotelli, but when it comes to Agüero and David Luiz, yeah, there's definitely some tension there. Well, at least from Agüero's side, the Argentinian went in hard on David Luiz twice. One of those tackles earned him a 4-game suspension, and in an interview, David Luiz said it took him over 2 years to fully recover. Honestly, Chelsea has a bit of a history with nasty fouls putting their players out of action. During a Champions League match, Van Dijk delivered a brutal challenge, and yep, he was sent off right away. Felipe Melo only managed to stop Arjen Robben like this.
Caught here by Felipe Melo.
That happened during the 2010 World Cup quarterfinals, and of course, he was shown a red card. But hold on, we've got more insane moments from Melo coming up. Cristiano Ronaldo once left the pitch bleeding. Right as he went up for a header, a defender threw in a wild kick and nailed him in the face. Pretty sure that was the most painful goal of his entire career. What happened to Portugal was even worse. Cristiano basically got punched by the goalkeeper and had to leave the game. But hey, CR7 isn't always the good guy. Just look at how mad he got trying to win back the ball. In another match, he got so frustrated after losing possession that he straight up lashed out. Of course, the ref saw everything, blew the whistle, and sent him off immediately. Lionel Messi once got flipped mid-air by Pjanic during a 2015 Champions League quarterfinal. And the result? Yeah, it wasn't pretty. Ronald Araujo also had to be stretchered off after losing consciousness on the pitch. And the worst part? It was friendly fire. During a collision with teammate Gavi, things took a scary turn. Cristiano Ronaldo also suffered a horrible tackle back when he was still playing for Manchester United. The hit looked bad enough to snap his leg, but somehow the ref only gave a yellow card. Now this next one was truly heartbreaking. In a match between Tottenham and Everton, everything changed after a harsh challenge. Players on both sides stood in shock as Andre Gomes lay on the ground, clearly in agony. Son had accidentally broken his opponent's leg. You could see how devastated he was. He even went over to apologize afterward.
Of course, I feel still really sorry about this accident and this situation, but
Unfortunately, Marcelo went through something similar, and he couldn't hold back the tears after seeing what he'd done to the opposing player.
Oh, wat is dit erg.
But in this match with the Colombian team, it was the player himself who ended up getting hurt. Fullback Arias fractured his leg during a challenge, and his opponent was completely devastated, thinking it was all his fault. In the end, the ref didn't even call a foul, saying Arias had injured himself. Now, let's get back to talking about Felipe Melo, because this guy has a highlight reel of crazy fouls, like this one, where he came crashing into a Lazio player. Later in his career, playing in Brazil, he pulled off this kind of tackle. No surprise, straight red card. A tackle like that could easily end someone's career. But this opponent's shin. Now, this center back actually scared Ibrahimovic. It all started with a little shove from Ibra. Nothing too crazy, just part of the game. But then the defender hit back. Luckily, Ibrahimovic is built like a tank, so a stomp like that didn't faze him. In fact, a few minutes later, he got his payback with a sneaky elbow. Speaking of shoving, Ibra definitely loves throwing his weight around with defenders. But what he did to John Terry was on a whole other level. He used an aerial challenge as an excuse to sneak in a punch. Not very subtle though, because the ref caught on and stopped the play right away. Still, none of that comes close to what he did to Materazzi. The Italian defender had to be hospitalized after that incident. During a challenge, Ibrahimovic went in hard with his foot, and then his elbow caught Materazzi right in the cheekbone. And get this, the ref only gave Zlatan a yellow card, even though Maserati had to leave the field on a stretcher and was rushed to the hospital for scans. Wayne Rooney ended up with a nasty gash after this play. The opposing player fell right on top of him, with his cleats landing straight on Rooney's leg. But to be fair, violent plays aren't just a modern football thing. Back in the day, tackles were way more brutal than they are now. Just check out what happened in this match between France and Germany. The goalkeeper didn't hold back at all and totally took out the striker. And honestly, no one probably suffered more fouls than the king himself, Pelé. He got tackled from behind, from the front, from the side, every direction possible. But back then, it was pretty much the only way to stop him when he was in his prime. Out of all the fouls we've talked about so far, this one might be the hardest one to watch. After seeing this hit, you really gotta wonder, can De Ligt still have kids after that? Of course, we have to talk about Sergio Ramos in this video. Let's start with the foul that made Salah leave the field in tears. In a Champions League final, no less, Ramos basically pulled off a judo move that took the Egyptian star out of the game and nearly cost him his spot in the 2018 World Cup. In another match, Ramos had already fallen on the ground, but still found a way to hit his opponent. And when it came to stopping Fernando Torres, he didn't hold back. Brute force was his solution. But the player who definitely took the most hits from Sergio Ramos was Lionel Messi. It's like he never thought twice before going in hard on the Argentinian. In one game, Messi got tackled straight in the knee, and even though Ramos wasn't directly involved in that particular foul, he jumped into the chaos and shoved Puyol, earning himself a card too. Years later, the two were playing on the same team. Honestly, I'd love to know what their locker room convos were like, but probably the nastiest foul of Ramos's entire career was this brutal double hit on the Brazilian striker Nilmar. Not only did he leave his studs on Nilmar's leg, he also smacked him in the face. And we're gonna talk about his partner in crime in defense real soon. In the 2018 World Cup round of 16, France faced Argentina, and neither side was holding back. There was this reckless sliding tackle, and then Otamendi decided to go full savage by blasting the ball at Pogba. And yeah, it kinda looked like he aimed right for the head. Now, this player didn't just aim at Van Persie's head, he actually landed the kick. Good thing the ball was right in between, or it could have been way worse. In this other case, it was the opposite. Adam's head got caught between the ball and the boot, and he took the full impact. And now it's time to talk about him, Messi's true nightmare. If you think Sergio Ramos went hard on Messi, it's probably because you forgot just how violent Pepe could be. One time, another player had already fouled Messi, and while the Argentinian was still on the ground, Pepe came over and did this. Completely unnecessary, straight up cruel. And in another moment, he kicked his opponent not once, but twice.
Common sense or standing that they may feel that they have. What is the rationale behind it? Why do they feel they have grounds to appeal a 10-game ban when it could have been a whole lot more?
Against Mueller, Pepe slapped the German in the face and then got into a shouting match with him right after. Pepe was also part of the most foul-filled match in Champions League history. The chaos started during a throw-in when tempers flared and Carrasco got himself sent off. Pepe, of course, was already starting to lose it. A little while later, a no call on a rough play pushed Porto's players over the edge. And boom, another brawl broke out. Another red card, another mess. One thing's for sure though, whenever Pepe sees an opening, he doesn't hesitate to go after his opponents. In the Chinese league, there was this brutal stomp. Pretty sure the guy's toenail turned back after that one. And from the looks of it, football over there can get really rough. Brazilian midfielder Oscar took a nasty hit straight to the face. And yeah, it looked totally intentional. Chelsea versus Liverpool classics are always intense. And here, Ivanovic completely lost it and went straight for the foul. To be honest, English derbies in general are no strangers to violence. In this match between Manchester City and Tottenham, Harry Kane became the target of Fernandinho's frustration. After a clash in the air, the Brazilian came down right on top of Kane and didn't even try to soften the landing. In another match between City and Liverpool, Otamendi took a fall that sent his face crashing right into Sadio Mané's knee. But that wasn't even the worst part. If you look closely, you'll notice Mané left his foot hanging just enough to hit Otamendi in the stomach too. Even Sergio Ramos has had his share of punishment. He took 2 kicks while trying to win the ball in this play. Then there's this goalkeeper who seemed more interested in removing Messi from the match than actually stopping the ball. And Messi, he was furious, stormed over to confront him right after. Lucas Vazquez came flying in with a slide tackle that was just as dangerous as any stomp we've ever seen. No doubt that one left a mark. Usually, the box is the goalkeeper's territory, but in this case, he definitely took things way too far. Back when he was still at Borussia Dortmund, Lewandowski clearly stomped on Boateng on purpose. Makes you wonder though, how awkward was it when they became teammates in Bayern? Now, this one's one of the most infamous fouls in football history. Suarez literally bit Chiellini, and then tried to act like he was the one who got hurt, like Chiellini's shoulder damaged his teeth. Neymar learned the hard way what people mean when they say what goes around comes around. After purposely blasting the ball at his opponent, he got stomped in revenge. In this game against City, Nasri just couldn't keep up with Neymar, so he decided to stop him the only way he could, with a foul like this. But of all of the hits Neymar has taken, nothing compares to this one. The brutal tackle in the 2014 World Cup quarterfinal against Colombia that nearly left him paralyzed. Yeah, it was that serious. This defender didn't hold back against Messi, launched in with such a reckless tackle that he literally lifted him off the ground. A straight red, no questions asked. Now that's what I call a high foot. It was literally at the opponent's head level. Eder Militão went all in on Barella, sending him flying into the advertising boards. And speaking of violence, one player actually lost his teeth on the pitch. Now, let's talk about a foul that didn't even happen on the field. Well, technically, it happened inside the goal. Right after a penalty was scored, the keeper tried to hold on to the ball, and that's when things went off the rails. The opposing players swarmed him like it was a wrestling match. The whole scene was just bizarre, and once the keeper's teammates rushed in, chaos broke loose for real. Of course, one of the players who went after the goalkeeper got a yellow card, and honestly, he was lucky it wasn't worse.